Time to finally start installing some of these windows in some of the building. We're not done with the roof coverings. We don't have ice and water on the entire south side, so we've got some windows that we're not going to install yet. But because we're pretty weathered in here, we're going to start installing these windows. These are Anderson 200 series vinyl clad exterior wood interior windows. We've got a natural pine, but our job is to install them, get them nice and sealed up. So what we've got is a Siga. This is their Fentrim. Probably seen us use this sort of product on the barn dominium build. We use some Fentrim. Here we're going to be doing our first job where we air seal the interior by using this tape. I really did like this when we traveled to Switzerland and went through their quote unquote building science class where they talked about air sealing and moisture and diffusion and condensation and all these other things. And this product is really going to help mitigate those moisture issues that can occur between your windows and your frames. So that's what we're gonna do. This is pretty cool tape because it does have this little like 1/2 inch bend over. And what we're gonna do is start in the window right on the edge, and I'm gonna work my way around the entire perimeter. Now the important thing is, because this is on the inside of the window, but the window frame is bigger, the window opening, the jamb, the actual framing opening, the rough opening is bigger than the window frame itself. When you get to your corners, you got to do a little trick, and we're just going to add a little bit of extra material. And it's all based on how big of a rough opening you might make for your window. So I can't tell you exactly what to do there, other than if you've got like a 1/4 inch opening, you want to probably add roughly 5/16 to 3/8 of material out in that corner so it can go all the way out and sit nice and clean. And you'll see that here in a little bit what I'm talking about. If you guys have not heard of Siga, they're a Swiss company that specializes in basically high performance sealants. It's all about performing at the highest standard when it comes to the efficiency, because over there in Europe, Switzerland, they build things to last way longer and to be way more efficient than what us Americans typically do. So you might not have heard of the product, but I can assure you it is probably one of the better, the best that I've used anyway, tape products on the market for adhesion, cold weather workability. If you've seen us use the Fentrim around the perimeter, it sticks to concrete with like no issues. Really, really good portfolio of products. My goal with this whole project is I wanted to build a quote unquote basic home, nothing extravagant, something that is attainable by most middle American people, but still be super high efficiency and provide great comfort and long-term usability by the client. So I'm looking at how can you make this as efficient as possible, as comfortable as possible, without going exorbitant and spending oodles of money. Oodles. That's a word for like a lot. Yeah. Oodles. Oodles. I think it's a D. I don't know. YouTube, let me know. I feel like it is, but
I thought it was
oogles? G? With a G? Yeah. Nah, I don't think so. You're crazy. But hey, dude, you make up, I literally make up words all the time. All right, so we're gonna lap this, and now this window here is tape sealed, ready to be tape sealed on the interior. Next thing we're gonna do is take our Lexel, and we're gonna go around the perimeter. And we're doing this because this tape is gonna have to come into the opening from the outside. And if you have your perimeter sealant on from the outside of the actual sheathing, you're probably gonna get it all over this. It's gonna go everywhere. And honestly, I kinda like this. It gives me, I think it's kinda easy to do this. So we're gonna start at the bottom, but we're not going to run any sealant on the bottom. That is so moisture can wick its way out. If it does by chance get into the window, if it fails, because it ain't coming in through anywhere else. We're gonna make sure this thing is detailed properly, and we're not gonna have an issue from weather. It's gonna be from condensation or a failure in the window itself. But even then, condensation, that's not gonna be an issue either. All right, so we've got this. It's sealed around the perimeter of the flange. It's taped, and now we're gonna be good to put this in the opening. Greg, this is where I could use your assistance, my guy. Whew, the wind. It's always windy out here in the Midwest.
The great Midwest.
Great Midwest. So Greg's gonna set some shims down. Those are 1/4 inch, and that's just gonna give us a nice spacing, and I'm gonna bring this window in. He's gonna guide me. So remember, the sealant is on the back side of this flange, so you gotta be careful. And Greg is going to make sure that tape is inside the opening as I come in. You good? All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and just push it in, and Greg is gonna do the work of aligning the bottom. We shot, if you remember, we used a laser to shoot the sills, or the framing of the sill, on all these windows, so they should be as level as a laser is, which we're using a Stabila 350 rotary when we did it. I trust that thing with Greg's life, so I know that the bottoms are good. Greg is going to make sure that the opening on each side is equal. He's gonna give me the all clear, and then I'm gonna go ahead and nail the bottom. Yeah? Oh yeah, look at the mud. I love it. So I'm just gonna hit one of these holes on each side. I do like these windows because this is a one-piece jamb, giving me great water protection. Like literally, some of the windows we do, they have like a aluminum flange that's like in a rabbet along the frame of the wood window. Man, those leak. You got to seal up onto the window frame. This is going to be great. We just have to tape this off, and it's going to be money. Okay, now that I've got the bottom, first thing I'm going to do is just check the plumbness with my level here. Right about there, Greg. Kind of hold that. Let me check it now for square. 69 and just a hair under an 1/8, and 69 and an 1/8. So it could go just a hair, which is what I might have saw on my level. Yeah, I bet that's what I wanted right there. Yes. So we've checked it for level, plumb, square, and now we're golden. Obviously, it's easy when you are the one framing your openings. You can do all that work, like check the bottom sill to be perfect on a laser, so the elevation is the same. I did that because by the time we put our stone and then our siding, I wanted everything to just line up with the same elevation with ease. We can all make it look good. Like, that's part of being a carpenter. You can make things that aren't right look right, but it's easier when things are right and you just have to do the install. Okay, so I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna put a nail every other hole. I don't do every hole. I think it's a waste. And then that is the install for now. We'll come back later and we'll tape around this perimeter, and I'll show you that in a little bit. You guys saw us tape out these corners, and we used a 4-inch seam and flashing tape for that, but I did get comments about the sill and why we didn't fully encapsulate the sill with some sort of, tape or sealant so that maybe potential water doesn't ruin the jamb, because this is where it's gonna be. It's gonna be here. It's not gonna be really along the edges, but we did this to tape off and seal the sheathing gap and the edge of the sheathing so it doesn't swell, expand. It's gonna be nice and sealed off. And we were planning on doing the bottom, the sill here, with a 6-inch piece of tape. We just didn't have it yesterday when I did that. And before we install these windows, we're putting that down. That way, any moisture that might make its way here, we are covering our jambs entirely to protect any moisture from doing any damage long-term to any of the wood here. How many times have you installed a window and just, you're so focused and so scared and worried about cracking the window with your hammer? The only reason I am is because about 6 years ago I did that and I broke the corner of a window. So it's just always in the back of my mind as a possibility. or you hit a nail underneath and it forces your hammer to go one way or the other. You hit a framing nail. It's always a worry, man. Hold up, right? I mean, that looks pretty dang money. Let me check for square. $69 and just under an eighth. 69 and just under an eighth. Now I've actually decided to go ahead and fill every hole in, so when we tape the window, it doesn't have any flex and it's nice and tight. I think it'll do a better job with the seal tape around the perimeter. So we're just gonna go ahead and do them all. But I still like to go around, kind of hit every other one, just to kind of get the window set and flat instead of working it all the way around one at a time. Good? Yes, sir. All right, now that we've got these windows installed, we're gonna go around, we're gonna tape seal the sides and the top. And then honestly, they're ready for smart side trim. So what I'll probably do is grab a bunch of dimensions because there's chances of rain today. There's some crummier weather coming in. And if we do need some good indoor work, we can build all these trims, the casing trims for these windows in my shop, pre-assemble them, bring them here, and then nail them right on. Very easy. I love it. So let's go ahead and get this taping done. You will notice we cleaned around this edge, so we got all the dirt, dust, debris from cutting the panels out of the way. And we're gonna use the same seal tape. This is the LP seal tape for the WeatherLogic system. And you could use any window tape. I mean, there's a lot of brands out there, but I like this because it sticks. It does its job of, you know, breaking the barrier between air and water, but you got to have a nice dry surface. So that is the one thing that you got to definitely be aware of. This stuff sticks really good. What the heck? That didn't cut very good. Now, if you're curious, yes, we run the sides with tape, but we leave this bottom open so that any water, like we said earlier, that might get into this window frame, into that opening, is gonna have the ability to weep out this bottom here. So that's not taped or sealed with any of that Lexel like we did along the sides and the top. So now we've got an opening that has been taped around the perimeter, a sill that has been completely taped. We've got a window that has been sealed with Lexel, which is an amazing sealant, to the actual sheathing. Then we've come over top of that and we've taped around the perimeter of the window. So unless this window fails, there's really no opportunity for water to get in here. I feel really confident about the sealants and the flashing tapes that we're using, and this window will be air and water free. I love it.
It's nice. We're sneaking in the porches. We're getting these walls framed up. We could do these on a concrete pier, and we've done that a lot. But by doing the wall, this will all be supported. It'll never heave or move around, which is possible when you do a pier because the slab is still just basically floating. So now what this is going to have a concrete cap on it. So it's just like a little foundation wall, footing wall. Got 2% calcium in here, so I mean we're above freezing. It's going to be above freezing for the next few days, but we're in winter service time, so that's kind of the way it is. Greg, let's let these guys do their thing. Let's go. Get back to work, Greg. Greg's always wanted to be a concrete guy.
You would do better than I would, so like that. If you see the version on fucking TikTok guys, right?
Okay, now it's just gonna go tight to this way, Greg. Because remember, this is the 3.5, and we bumped it out a quarter.
So we are gonna go tight.
It'll go tight to this side over here, yes.
Okay, then slide it over.
And then I'll just check, you got it? I'm gonna check it for level. It's only tight to the outside face frame. You should still be gapped on this, because this is 3 inches, but our face frame is 3.5, remember? So I put a 1/4 inch on both sides.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, buddy. Now it's all making sense. So what we were talking about is there's a 2x4 here on the face frame to give us the 3.5 inch between our windows, but on the inside it's only a 3 inch double jam basically. So we've still got our 1/4 inch gap. That's what you were seeing for air and whatever. But yeah, so it's all good. It's all good, man. Those came off easy, huh?
Oh yeah.
Is it easier when it's colder like this?
I mean, with the right timing is what
Yeah,
it
it's all
is.
timing.
Yeah, the earlier you get on it, a little bit easier because it still has that moisture separation.
Yeah. But you got to risk it coming off with it or something, or no?
No, not at this point. No, if it was greener looking like that stuff behind the door.
So here we're 3 3/4. Here we're 3 and just a hair under 3. I want to be a little bit bigger than 3.5 because I want. Yeah. Well, that was the goal originally. Next thing I need to do, Greg, is we need to make sure. I mean, even though we shot these with a laser, I need to make sure that they're okay. So this one here. Yeah, this one over here needs to go up just a hair on this corner, man. Yes, and I can see that. Yes, this corner needs to go up just a hair. Hold that. All right, she ain't going nowhere. There, so now hopefully it makes sense. We're gonna run our smart side. We're gonna build this and set it in here, and it'll have a nice 3.5 inch trim board around this whole kind of window deal. I like that. That's gonna be nice. All right, all you, man. Looks like we got the boys back today. They're pulling forms for the porches. Gonna get prepped for doing the caps. So before the guys went ahead and put this concrete porch cap on, which they're framing up now, this is the Fentrim 230, and this is to air seal the bottom between the WeatherLogic and the concrete. So this is a typical spot for air leakage, and this is going to take care of that. The cool thing about this tape is you don't even have to prime the concrete
it's amazing how sticky it is. And so great tapes from Siga. That's the Fentrim, and that's a good detail. And by doing it now, we don't have to worry about doing it when the cap is poured here. So we had to really quickly install that Fentrim 230. I'll make sure that we bring you guys back for an install and show you how that goes in later, but we need to get in a hurry because these concrete guys are going to be pouring these caps this morning. Got this all formed up. They've got their mesh laid, they've got expansion up against the wall. You can see now where our Fentrim is in comparison, and if they would have had that concrete all poured, it would have been a pain for us to get that Fentrim installed. So that's kind of nice. And I think they're probably working on wrapping up this one over here. Yep, getting rebar tied back into the house. Nice. Look at this. Who says concrete guys can't be carpenters? Look at that miter there. That's a nice clean miter in the bevel. That's where the concrete will be beveled so it doesn't have a sharp edge. I wonder if they pulled the topsaw out, Greg.
Wait, what?
Look at that nice clean miter in there, man. Nice.
Not bad.
Do good work, Tyler. Don't let anybody say I told you that, though.
Everybody else does good work. I'm just here to labor.
Good luck with the concrete, man. We're out of here.
Today?
Yep.
All right.
I'm going home and going to sleep.
Huh?
I'm going to sleep.
Feeling that shitty, huh?
Yeah. Yep.